I'm coming. If you hand over to government to maintain, they budget the money and share it.
To live in that particular place that the house is. So it's supposed government will compensate them so that and pay them and relocate them to where they are going and build another house for them.
Careful engineering and management to meet human needs. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us on another episode of Property Doctor, the show that brings to property owners and property users the easiest remedies to beautify your homes, to maintain your homes, and to help you save time, save money, and save your resources. I am Fumi Amunega Ajayi, also known as your Property Doctor. You can connect with us on Facebook and on Instagram at Property Doctor NG, and even on YouTube at Property Doctor NG. And you can call on 0903 123 9999. So shelter is very important, whether you are working, you are at home, you are in the construction site, you are in the market, anywhere you are, schools, hospitals, you need a shelter. Sometimes we have very little space, and we actually need to maintain our setbacks before we erect a structure or a building. You know, we cannot move our buildings around, but you know, things happen these days, and people can actually move their buildings now. Some buildings can be moved, but we can build our houses in one place and want to move to another location. And you know, generally, it's not easy to move your buildings. But we can move a particular kind of structure called Portacabins, and that's what we'll be talking about today. So if you want to go on camping for vacation, or you want to go somewhere and you need your own space on your own building, then you can have a Portacabin and you can move them to wherever you need to move them to. In other cases, you might have a very small space in your environment, or maybe you don't have so much land and you just want to build something. You can manage that place, build it, maintain the law, and have a Portacabin inside the area. The question is, what can we do to stay safe and stay within the law and also be happy? You need a Portacabin if you have any of these problems. One thing we can do is to use Portacabin to fill that space or to fill the gap. Let's go on a short break, and when we return, I will let you know more about Portacabins. But before that, Property Doctor wants to introduce some products to you: the PD soap, the PD bleach, the PD air freshener, the PD tile care, the glass care, the PD paint, which is satin, emulsion, we have the matte, and different kinds of paint. All these things can help you stay healthy and maintain your building. You can contact us for any of these products, or you can get them from your stores. Please stay tuned. We will be right back. Welcome back. We have been talking about Portacabins. Portacabins are so versatile and can bring solutions to both residential and commercial spaces. They can be used as project site office, conference staff accommodation, clubhouses. You can even use them as schools instead of staying under the tree. You can use them as hospitals. You can have them as storage units. You can even use them as modular buildings, as they do these days. You can watch our video on modular buildings to get more tips. Portability of office items is becoming increasingly popular, and something has to be done. We can use Portacabins to move office equipment, and so on. Portacabin buildings are constructed with steel outer wall, steel roof, and galvanized steel floor frame, so it will not rust on time. Some even use wooden wooden material to do the roof members, to construct the roof. Then they will now have a covering on top of it. The walls are filled with foam to give it an insulation and to give it a high thermal efficiency, to keep the weather or the temperature inside the Portacabin from extreme weather conditions, that is extreme heat or extreme cold. So we can decide to use Portacabins instead of creating a problem, and at the end of the day we can still remain safe and save money. Portacabins can be built in a multi-story form, like in a modular form, making it look like a story building. We can use Portacabins as a quick fix for IDP camps, where people that maybe need to stay somewhere after a problem can actually stay, and they will be safe and comfortable. So now let's look at the safety of Portacabins. How safe is a Portacabin structurally? Structurally, Portacabins are very safe. You know, I told you it's made from steel, and steel members are very strong and they are safe, especially if they are arranged properly. Portacabins are made from steel material and may experience extreme weather conditions like being too hot or too cold, but you can control the temperature of the internal part of the Portacabins by using a cooling system or a heating device, as the case may be. It can be safe generally because the structural details has been taken into consideration when building the Portacabins. Most of the time, people use containers to build their Portacabins, and they will just have a quick fix by the side, maybe using other things to fill it up to make it look good. But for the strength, it is actually very, very strong. You can use a wood finish to decorate the internal part of the Portacabins. Let me talk to you more about the finishes. When you have a Portacabin, you can use the wood to do the finishes on the wall. That is after using the foam to keep the temperature under control. You can use wood, you can use board, you can use different things, tiles, you can use glass, and so many other things like rug, carpet, and so on to fill the sides and the top of the Portacabin. Portacabins have doors and windows for entrance into the Portacabin and for exit from the Portacabins. You can also have windows so that you can have fresh air. The place will be properly ventilated, and there will be light also in the Portacabins. So for the finishes, I told you that you can use boards, that is wooden boards. You can use tiles for the finishes on the wall or on the floor. You can use rug in the Portacabin or on the wall of the Portacabins. So even if you want to have a studio, you can use a Portacabin as a studio where you can do your recording for those that are into studio work. So where can we use Portacabins? Generally, in our homes, we have, when you move into a place, you find out that you don't have so many things. But as time goes on, the place gets full and you may be looking for expansion. You can use your Portacabin as a place where you can expand to first before you plan properly to move to another place. You can use Portacabin as your gatehouse or your guest room. You can even use it as your servants' quarters, your storage room, your games room for children and for adults. You can use a Portacabin as your recreation room. Some even use it as shops in the rural area. So for those in construction, they use Portacabins as temporary store, as temporary site office, as a security post, as observation post, and so on. Sometimes we use it as a mobile lavatory where people can go to ease themselves or to just take care of themselves when the call of nature comes on. So you can use that for, that is, when you want to use it as a mobile lavatory, you can use it in recreation centers. Some people use that as a police post as well. You use a Portacabin as a police post. You can also use Portacabins as security post or observation post. It depends on what you want to use it for. It's good to manage your space, your resources. Sometimes we have little spaces. You know, I said it's good to cut your coat according to your cloth. It can be what you can afford. It can be that this is what you can afford at that particular time. So just use it well and be happy with yourself. So if you have a small space behind your house or by the side of the house or even in front, you can just use some of these tips to enjoy your space and use it to your own idea or the way you want to use it. Just use it well. Do you have other ideas on how to use your Portacabins? You can share with us by leaving a comment below. If you have a creative idea on how to use a Portacabin also, you can still leave a comment. We want to learn from you. You can leave a comment below. So thank you for joining us on today's episode of Property Doctor. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope to see you same time next week on the same station. And if you have any question, you can send your question to us. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, what are you still waiting for? Please do so on the link that accompanies this video. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
I'm coming. If you hand over to government to maintain, the budget the money and share it.
To live in that particular place that the house is. So it's supposed government will compensate them so that and pay them and relocate them to where they are going and build another house for them.
Careful engineering and management to meet human needs.